دوستان با درود به برنامه مامتاک خوش آمدید. برنامه‌ای که امروز براتون تهیه کردیم برنامه‌ای هست در رابطه با آنچه که در دنیا و جهان امروزه نادرست یا توأم با آنچه که ما خانواده هایی که به سوی صلح و صلحجویی میشتابیم در حال اتفاق افتادنه و تک تک آنانی که چه در بحران هستند و چه در صلح و آرامش زندگی میکنند میتوانند به صحبت‌های پر از علم، دانش، آنچه که روان یا روانشناسی دل و آنچه که در اندرون میگذرد امروز قرار اتفاق بیفته. و مهمان عزیز و گرامی برنامه امروز من کسی هستش که خیلی از شما با ایشون آشنا هستید. نویسنده چندین کتاب parenting books هستند که آخرین کتاب ایشون که خیلی صدا کرده و خیلی کسانی رو در خانواده ها، در مدارس، در دانشگاه ها به هیجان در آورده، کتاب Living with Intent هست. مهمان گرامی امروز برنامه من خانم ملیکا چوپرا هستند و Mallika Chopra, it's such an honor to have you and Roma Katarpal, Tools of Growth. You're no guest to the show. I feel like you're my co-host.
Oh, and it feels like home, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I have been wanting to show my gratitude to you for the weeks that you were able to produce the wonderful, amazing content and shows that you did. So here we are.
Thank you.
Ladies, welcome to MomTalk.
Thank you. What an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know you have a really busy schedule, Mallika, so thank you so much for taking the time out and being here with us. And this is a very important purpose to Nelly, is to bring together minds like yourself, thought leaders like yourself, to really help harness this message of not just parenting with intent, but actually living a life with intent.
No, thank you. I'm honored to be in your company. Both of you are also doing such amazing, important work. And we're all fellow moms here.
Yeah, that's true. That's such a common thread, right?
Yeah.
Such an important bond.
Yeah.
So we'll start right at the foundation here, Mallika. I really wanted you to share with us the definition of intent, because I know you talk about how intents are different from goals.
Yes.
And how intents don't come from the mind.
Yes.
So I'd love to start right there and point out the difference between intents and goals.
Sure. So I really believe intents come from the soul, from that deep place where we ask ourselves, what do I want? Many people here are probably familiar with my father, Deepak Chopra.
Of course, yeah.
And when we were kids, he would ask my brother and I on a daily basis after our meditation, what do you want? And we would say things like tickets to a basketball game or a trip to an exotic island.
As would all our children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he would say, okay, but what about asking for love, connection, inspiration, a sense of purpose? So intention really is when we reconnect with ourselves, with our souls, to that deep place beyond kind of our ego identities, and we really think, how can I live a life where I feel connected and of purpose?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Such an important point. And so we will take moments throughout the program where I will summarize and translate برای شما بینندگان گرامی که به زبان فارسی برنامه ما رو تماشا میکنین. خیلی باید حواس و توجه هم بذارم که در کنار ملیکا چوپرا از حضور ایشون و صحبت‌های ایشون اون چه که به اصطلاح جمع‌بندی و خلاصه میتوان کرد با شما مطرح بکنم. نکته اولی که روما کتارپال ازشون سوال کردن این هستش که تفاوت اهداف یا هدف و یا اون چه که ما بهش اینتنت یا به اصطلاح نیت میتونیم اسمش رو بذاریم چی هستش و او خیلی به درستی توضیح داد و توجیه کرد که خب گول یا اهداف ما اون چیزی هستش که ما در ذهنمون برای مثال میخوایم بازی تنیس رو یا بازی که میکنیم رو خوب انجام بدیم. اون میتونه یه هدف باشه، در صورتی که نیت و انتنت اون چیزی هستش که از دل ما بیرون میاد. و پدر ایشون که هممون با ایشون آشنا هستین، من خودم با ایشون بزرگ شدم و میدونم خیلی از شما در ایران به خصوص با دیپک چوپرا خیلی در رابطه با مدیتیشن، کوانتوم هیلینگ، تمام صحبتایی که ایشون کرده، مایند بادی سول کانکشن، استفاده میکنین از مطالب ایشون. ایشون در کودکی که بزرگ میشدن، پدر ایشون پدری و صحبتایی که با ایشون میکردن این بود که ازشون هر روز on a daily basis, was it on a daily basis, the meditation and the questions? Almost.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a gift.
And as a child,
What a
Mallika,
gift.
how did you receive that as a child?
Yeah.
Did that resonate with you? Did it make sense to you at the time, or was it a practice?
It did, because we had my father, before he discovered meditation, was very stressed out. He would drink a lot, smoke a lot. There was a lot of tension between my parents. He worked 24/7. And when he and my mother started meditating, there was a dramatic shift in our family life. So for us as children, it wasn't that someone was saying, oh, meditate.
And how old were you at the time?
I learned when I was 9 and my brother was 6.
And that's old enough to remember these things,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And so for us, it wasn't, they never forced us to meditate. And I'm a big believer in not forcing our children to meditate.
Of course.
But because our family life, you know, once they started meditating, my father quit drinking, quit smoking, was around
really
more,
impressive.
was happier. My parents had a better relationship.
You saw that, you felt that shift, not just saw it,
Yes.
but you felt that
We
shift.
really felt it. So that, for me, was the biggest lesson in the power of this practice.
بنابراین در خانواده چوپرا فامیلی، پدر ایشون دیپک چوپرا که فیزیشن بودن و پزشک بودن و کار سنگینی میکردن در کنار مادرشون، رفتارهای بدی مثل مشروب خوردن یا سیگار کشیدن یا کارهایی که مخرب بود انجام میدادن. در یک نقطه زمانی در زندگیشون که بچه دار شده بودن، تصمیم میگیرن که این روش درست زندگی نیست. بنابراین میبایست از طریق مدیتیشن حالا ما کمک بکنیم برای آرامش آوردن در خانواده، و این رو به این صورت شیفت و جابجایی صورت گرفت که ایشون بچه ها رو هم انوالو کرد و شروع کرد هر روزه از اونها پرسید که نیت تو امروز چی هستش، چی میخوای امروز از جهان، از یونیورس، از دنیا. و خب کوچولوها چون اون موقع برایشون بسکتبال یا تیکت به بسکتبال یا جای فان رفتن، دیزنیلند رفتن فان بود، اون چیزا رو انتخاب میکردن. ولی ایشون با خیلی به اصطلاح ویزدم به بچه ها میگفتن که یادآوری میکردن که ولی خب عشق چی؟ اون کارهایی که مهم هستش در دنیا، مثل آوردن صلح در محیطت و کارهایی که شاید بیشتر پرمعناتر باشه. Beautiful.
Yeah, and connecting that, Mallika, into this journey with the book, because I know that the seed was planted through a personal, internal, chaotic time for you.
Yes.
And what was that journey like, from that self-reflection, that self-discovery, to writing this amazing book?
Oh, thank you. So I think, like most of us who are mothers, who are working, who are taking care of parents and being involved in our community, a few years ago, was just feeling completely stressed and frazzled, busy, running around all day, but at the end of the day, even having difficulty seeing what I had accomplished during the day.
And that's every parent. I mean, I can so
think
totally
it's-
relate to
I
that.
think
Yeah.
so. And you know, I am someone who has been meditating for 35
That's
years,
right.
and so people would
People
assume
with your
yeah.
credentials should not have that suffering.
So people assume that I kind of have it all together. And I was one day actually speaking to an audience about meditation and balance and mindfulness. And I found that while I was speaking to the audience, in the back of my head, I was thinking, I got to pick up the dry cleaning and send my daughter's permission slip, and I got to send that in a note to my investors.
Right.
And I realized I'm completely being a hypocrite, actually.
Yeah.
So the book was really my journey to say, okay, I have all these tools, but I'm not using them.
Right.
And how do I kind of rediscover them at this stage of my life, as a busy mom with 2 kids and a business? And that really is the journey of the book.
And so did writing the book actually change the dynamic with the family?
So writing the book really did, because one, I recommitted to practices. I started.
Right.
So I'm an irregular meditator. I should say that up front.
Right. I think we all are in some ways, yeah.
And so I
Irregular meditator.
Yeah. And so I think many people assume that you have to meditate twice a day, and things will work out. I've gone through years where I have, and then I haven't meditated for a long time. And I found that at this stage in my life, I was too busy to do anything to take care of myself. So I really made a commitment to start meditating again, to focus on food and nutrition and movement, but also dig deep and figure out, what does balance mean to me? Because I don't even know what it is. And so in that kind of process, I made small changes, not dramatic changes, but small changes which had both a personal effect but also on my family.
Fantastic.
And I know you say that, I had this quote down, working with intent is a process, one we should approach with a sense of curiosity, exploration, and hope.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's so profound, and it just reminded me of that quote.
And the timing of it for families، برای اونایی از شما که در ایران هستین یا در اروپا هستین، در هر جای دنیا که تماشا میکنین، میدونین که امروزه در دنیا چه میگذرد و چه اتفاقای پر از توأم با خشونت و ضد این صلح و آرامش و مدیتیشن هستش. بنابراین در این لحظه زمانی تک تک شما که این تایم رو میگیرین، این زمان رو میگیرین که این کتاب رو بخونین و واقعا از خوندن این کتاب استفاده بکنین در رابطتون با بچه هاتون، با کودکانتون و رابطتون با خودتون، چون همونطور که دالی لاما یا گاندی یا تمام افرادی که رهبران صلح هستن در دنیا صحبت میکنن، میگن peace starts with you. بنابراین شمایی که مادر هستین یا پدر هستین یا معلم هستین، این کتاب رو میگیرین. Do you know if it's been translated in Farsi for the Persian viewers?
It's been translated to about 12 languages. I don't think Farsi yet.
Not
Maybe
yet.
this will help.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you are interested in translating, so it's wonderful. از اون کارهایی هستش که واقعا در دنیای امروزه میتونه تحولات بسیاری به وجود بیاره. ملیکا صحبتی که میکنن در خانواده این بود که خودشون کلاسای بسیاری تدریس میکردن و مدیتیشن رو یاد میدادن، ولی به این نتیجه رسیدن که اون مایندفولنس یا اون کانکشن یا مدیتیشنی که انجام میدادن به اون صورت اینتنشنال نبوده در گذشته، بلکه به صورت مثلا مسواک زدن یا like brushing your teeth, it becomes a habit, right? You could get into that habitual way of meditating. ولی اون زمانی که شما قلباً و روحاً، چون intent از روح میاد، از روح و روان میاد, right?
And I think what I love also, and I got part of that.
I can tell. You're like,
We're connecting
right.
all the words here. And I think what I also love about this, Nelly, is that through this work, Mallika not only brings a really strong perspective on the importance and the benefits of setting intentions, but actually draws a roadmap with these action steps through the word itself. So through the INTENT, and I'll let you take it from here.
Yes, please. Tell us about
one of the
intent.
things that I've learned growing up in a family with authors and being exposed to people is that you have to create steps.
Yes.
So, for my father, the 7 spiritual laws of
course,
success
of
was
course.
7 laws. So as I was kind of looking at my life and thinking about this book, I took the letters of the word INTENT and came up with a path to intent. So quickly, I represents incubate, which for me was the idea of when we become a mother, we incubate a child, right? It's not like it's immediate.
Right.
It takes time, it takes patience, it takes nurturing. And so intention really does that as well. And I found, on my website, intent.com, where people post intents, that often people don't know what their intents are.
Right.
If you ask people what you want, sometimes it creates anxiety or
That's
stress.
so true, because when I first started using your app, I would, erase and rewrite and erase and rewrite and remind myself this is not like a vision of what I want to do, but this is an internal thing.
Yes.
So I can totally relate to that.
So incubate really represented that idea that we need to be quiet. We need to connect with ourselves. We need, for me, meditate again.
Yes.
Reconnect with self. But also recognizing that it takes time sometimes.
Yes.
So let me translate the I. بنابراین لغت intent رو که میبینین living with intent، اگر عکس کتاب رو بتونین نشون بدین، intent آیش برای incubate یا اون حالی رو که مادری که باردار هستش و در زمان بارداری طی میکنه اون حال رو پریزنت میکنه که در اون حال ایستادن، صبر کردن، صبور بودن، صبر و پرحوصلگی نشون دادن، اگر بتونین مدیتیت بکنین، مدیتیشنتون بر اساس به اصطلاح رابطه‌ای که با خودتون برقرار میکنین، اون درون شما، رابطه درونی، اون میتونه خیلی شما رو کمک بکنه. اولین پله، اولین قدم هستش برای living with intent. So intent. The next letter.
So N is for notice, and this was something again as children my father used to teach my brother and I. He'd make us play a game where we'd have to go for a day without criticizing, condemning, or complaining, either vocally or in our head.
And that's a tough one.
Yes. Like I challenge anyone to do that for an hour. But what
so it was
you
for
notice,
an hour. It was for an hour.
Well, no,
he'd
make us do it for the day. It was a game. And what you notice is how your internal dialogue affects your external reality.
Right.
And even research now is showing if you express gratitude, you start your neural networks also in your brain change. So notice is N, which is noticing your internal dialogue, noticing the messages your body is sending you. So I am someone who is addicted to sugar, drinks a lot of caffeine, and I am always struggling. Latest cleanse, a new diet, etc. But when I instead shifted to just noticing how I felt after I, gorged on sugar, I didn't feel great. So noticing the messages my body is sending.
I think that's such an important point, even connecting it to what we eat.
Yes.
And I learned a lot from What Are You Hungry For?
Yes.
From your dad's book, and I thought that was pivotal for me because I never realized what, noticing. It goes back to taking note of what you're feeling in the moment instead of mechanically going on to whatever it is that the next step of, you're doing is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the letter N, notice, برای خانواده ها با بچه هاشون که میخوان کار بکنن و خیلی جالبه که پدر ایشون از سن خیلی کم به بچه ها درخواست میکردن که اون 1 ساعت یا 1 روز در به اصطلاح هفته در اون مدت بچه ها میبایست که افکار منفیشونو یا برخوردهای منفیشونو یا با سرزنش یا خشونت با هم رفتار کردنشونو ایست بذارن و انجام ندن یا اینکه بهش توجه بکنن. بنابراین همون توجه کردن هستش که awareness میاره. بنابراین N for notice هم از نظر بدنن و اینکه مثال زدن که من موقعی که کوکی میخوردم یا قهوه میخوردم که خیلی دوست دارم، بعد به این به اصطلاح روش پی بردم که اگر فقط توجه بکنم به اینکه در حال درونم چی میگذرد، بعد این خیلی کمکم میکنه که انتخاب درست رو بکنم و این خیلی درسته. I know with our kids we use a similar technique and it's noticing, right? You ask them to pay attention. How are you feeling? I remember the day when Cami and Chloe were here and they were on their iPads.
Right.
Remember for several hours and they were so tense and wired.
Yeah.
And you said to Cami, well, notice your body. How is your body feeling?
Yes.
And it's such a good way to connect and to help children connect with their inner sense of self and mindfulness.
No, I knew that, aware and mindfulness, and I teach this. You would think that I would know this and it would be second nature to me.
Right.
But I think reading your book really broke it down, and these action steps, that's why I feel they're so important, because really helped me break it down as remembering, connecting it to intent.
Yes, yes.
Well, and that leads
So
to the next one,
next
which is T, which is for trust, because we also need to trust ourselves. We need to trust our intuition. I speak a lot in the book about asking, what do you want? And for me, it's often been a struggle. Do I want to be a full-time mom? Do I want to be an entrepreneur, best-selling author and speaker? And there's so many things pulling us all the time.
Right.
And often we pursue the things that we think we're supposed to do versus the things that really we want to do and we want to feel connected with, and that will make us happy. And I got this from Eckhart Tolle, who I spoke to for the book. I spoke to many great teachers, but really trusting that when we ask ourselves, how can I serve, or how can the universe serve through me, that we follow our intuition and we trust that the universe will be there to support us.
Yeah, and this is, I think, these first 3 steps of, incubate, notice, and trust. This is such deep inner work. And you really have to quieten to do it. And interestingly enough, these inner hard steps make your life easier.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Now, regarding trust, this comes up for me a lot when I'm meditating or trying to tap into that inner sense of self. Oftentimes there are different dimensions to it. So like you say, when you're pulled from different angles, for me personally, there's like a spiritual plane, a spiritual pull, a strong pull as a mother, a strong pull as a wife. So all the different connections or attachments, the bonding we have, they all tap into different, I guess the trust is always centered around God for me. It's always been centered around God. But then to tie it into the intent and how it all integrates, sometimes it's hard to integrate it because they're so different.
It is, and I think that's where we have to really ask ourselves, what do I want? So in this conversation that I did with Eckhart Tolle, which I did as a TEDx talk as well, I remember speaking to him and telling him, I was taught to ask, how can I serve every day? And I struggle with that because, at the end of the day, I'm a soccer mom. Like, I drive my kids from one activity to another activity. And he gave such a beautiful answer to me. He said, it's the everyday people who are doing extraordinary things, who are raising the frequency of the planet. And there's nothing more important or more special that you can do than to be a soccer mom, but do it with love, do it with purpose, do it with spirit. So in whatever capacity we're serving, trusting that
serving
that's
our
our path right
children,
now.
that's a service too, is that we do every single day is serving our children. If we just look at what's in front of us, I love that.
It was a beautiful
Let me
answer.
translate that. That is such an important point. برای خیلی از شما که شاید در بحران هویت یا بحران کار یا بحران به عنوان یک زن یا مادر طی می‌کنین مسیر رو یا زندگیتون رو، مالیکا چوپرا در موقعی که کتابشون رو Living with Intent رو می‌نوشتن با ادکارد تول قرار داشتن، به خاطر اینکه ایشون نویسنده Power of Now و کسی هستن که در این کار معلم خیلی بزرگ و پیشکسوت هستن. و در ملاقاتی که با ایشون داشتن، ایشون به مالیکا این توصیه رو کرده، برای اینکه خیلی از ماها من جمله از مالیکا چوپرا در هدف یا نیت یا راه زندگی یا اون چیزی که دریم یا به اصطلاح رویای زندگی ما هستش و اینکه ما برای چی به این دنیا آمدیم، چه کاری میبایست بکنیم. شاید این سوالاتی که بیشتر فلسفی هستش در ذهن ما میتونه ما رو بعضی از اوقات به شاید اضطراب و تشویش ببره، ولی او با آرامش بسیار به او نگاه میکنه و میگه نگران نباش، اون جایی که هستی همون جایی هستش که باید باشی. یعنی الان اون کاری رو که انجام میدی خوب انجام بده، با عشق انجام بده، با نیت خوب انجام بده، چرا که اون هستش که قرار دنیا رو و جهان رو به آرامش و به فریکونسی بهتری بیاره که صلح جهانی هستش. بنابراین اگر نگرانی داری، نگرانی ها رو بذارین کنار. You are okay, right? We are okay. And to just be present and to embrace the power of now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then E is for express, which is actually, there comes a time when I think it's very important to express what you want and to say it. maybe to yourself, but create a ritual, write it down.
Sort of like placing an order,
yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's taking responsibility, but also planting a seed. So intents are like seeds. We plant them, we put the dirt, the water, we let the sun nurture it, and trust that it's going to become a beautiful tree or blossom or flower. But expressing your intent is actually planting that seed and saying, this is very important to me. And that leads to nurture, which is also then acceptance, taking care of ourselves. Especially as women, we're so busy taking care of everyone else that we don't nurture ourselves. It's letting go of guilt, and it's letting the process of once we express the intent to really kind of flourish into something beautiful.
Now, guilt is a constant companion when it comes to parents, right?
Right.
Of course.
So how, through this process, was that something that you were able to manage better? The guilt that you would feel for, it's the same guilt we all have,
Yes.
for not being patient, not spending enough time with our kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
Yelling at our kids.
Yes,
Sure,
absolutely,
exactly, yeah.
Yes, but I think where it started to align for me more comfortably was rather than not forcing the guilt to be there, to keep checking in and saying, am I living with intention? Like, am I living the life I am meant to live right now? And then the choices I made actually alleviated naturally a lot of that guilt.
Naturally. See, I
Yes.
think that's the key word
Yes.
there, is not the expectation, but allowing it to happen through this process.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
برای همین یه بخش بزرگی از صحبت‌های ملیکا چوپرا در رابطه با living with intent برمیگرده به حضور ذهن، اون چیزی رو که امروزه در مدارس و در بسیاری از سکتورهای جامعه انجام میدن، تدریس میکنن که میبایست اون نیتی رو که دارین express بکنین. Expression of your thoughts, your desires, planting the seeds. این خیلی مهمه. برمیگرده به اون که فکر نکنین در ذهنتون یا در خیالتون که اونجا وجود داره، بلکه آوردن رو کاغذ، نوشتنش، حفظ کردنش میتونه بخشی از دانه و به اصطلاح دانه رسانی یا باغبانی باشه به قول معروف. That's wonderful. Yeah, what a great advice.
And then T, the final T, is for take action. So, I grew up in this self-help world where often people would say, oh, just set your intent and the universe will conspire to make it happen, which I do believe. But I think it requires taking action. So there is a time for goals.
Right.
Again, which is different goals than are planned, coming from the mind. Which have kind of measurement and things like that. But the key is that becomes so much easier when you've done all the other steps, because then you're living aligned with that purpose. So for me, living with intent really is leading a healthier, happier, more connected and purposeful life through these steps.
And because I know the steps by heart, we missed an N, which
Yeah.
is nurture.
Yes,
So we missed that.
Yeah,
so we're
yes.
going to go back to that, to
Yes,
the
yes,
N.
yeah.
So after the express is the N for the nurture.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so tell us about that
And
a
so
little
nurture,
bit.
I think I'd said before, it's about taking care of ourselves. And it is for me, it was a beautiful chapter, actually probably my favorite chapter in the book, because as part, I was doing different things while I was writing the book. And this section really is about my trip to India, where in my family, we rotate going to take care of my grandparents.
I remember reading
and so,
that.
Yeah, and so in this chapter, I talked about how I was going to India, kind of full of self-importance, to take care of my grandparents. And when I got there, the first night, I went to sleep, and I noticed first the fan was on, then I'd wake up and the fan was off, then I'd have a blanket on me, then I'd have a cup of water next to me, and all night long my grandmother was coming and just making sure I was comfortable.
Oh, that's sweet,
And
yeah.
at this stage in my life, I realized no one takes care of me anymore.
It's so nice to be pampered,
It was
right?
so nice to
Yeah.
be pampered, and it just made. I was so rejuvenated from that week with my grandparents, and realizing that someone was there to take care of me, and reminding myself that I need to take care of myself too, because that is the only way I'll be able to serve those I
Right.
love.
right.
And those small
It's
acts
beautiful.
of kindness that warms the heart.
Yes.
Yeah. بنابراین در رابطه با nurture اون چیزی رو که مهم هستش این هستش که فرد، مادر یا پدر یا اون کسی که با انتنت داره برنامه میریزه قبول بکنه و در قلبش باور بکنه که اون nurturing یا اون pampering یا مراقبت کردن، مواظبت کردن، اینها رو برای او آرامش میاره و صلح میاره و نیاز داره. یکی از نیازهای ما هستش to be nurtured and pampered and to have openness to allow it to receive it. برای اینکه خیلی از اوقات as moms, you know, we get good at giving and filling buckets of love and joy and warm-heartedness, but to have that openness to also receive intentionally, moms, intentionally.
Yes,
It's
yes.
such a great word of wisdom and advice, and yes.
Yeah, and I
So
also
relevant.
think that in this pampering and nurturing, almost every culture we have an actual word for it, you know? Like in Hindi it's lad, right?
Yes.
And in Arabic it's dalwa. You know, I know that because of, you know, being raised in the Middle East. And that pampering, even for our children, allowing them just to cuddle and just to fuss and just to hold, not feeling like that's an ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just feeling like that's just a
In
moment to
Farsi,
be.
it's muraqabat, to
okay.
really take care and
Yeah.
nurture, and muraqabat. We also have muhafazat, which is to protect, but that's different.
Right,
Muraqabat
right.
is more nurturing and pampering. And then, of course, there's spoiling, which
Right.
grandparents do.
That fine
Loose
line,
garden,
right?
loose-
Yeah,
Which, yeah, they do.
Yeah, so important, so
Yeah.
important. So this is great. You know, we have all the action steps, and then my favorite part of the book is the reflections at the end of each chapter. So every single chapter has reflections at the end, and then of course the cheat sheet in the back.
Yes.
I love that. Make life simple. You know, you at a glance,
Well,
quick
and I
reference.
think my journey with this book was I can't make dramatic changes in my life,
Yeah,
right?
that's such a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so often there's these promises that we'll find, you know, joy or, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow if we make dramatic changes. And
Yeah.
I've seen many people who come to my father's courses and they'll have an amazing experience, and that begins a journey, but it just begins the journey. So, you know, that's why the subtitle of this book is My Somewhat Messy Journey.
Yes.
Because I realized that it really is a process, and you know, I still love my sugar. I still, you know, am an irregular meditator, but I've made small changes that over kind of the process have really shifted my life to be in a happier place. And so I think whether it's the cheat sheet or the reflections was also just to emphasize that this is a journey.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and it's a somewhat messy journey as well.
Yes,
you know,
and but
as well.
having those quick at a glance, you know, summaries, if you will, I think that really helps parents not to have to think about reading the whole book and where
Yes.
was that
Yes.
piece, and just really going back quickly and saying what step, and I did that myself.
Yeah.
What step did I miss? Because the nurture and the notice for me, because both being ends,
Yes.
that sort of, you know,
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
wires got crossed.
Yeah.
So it was very, very easy for me to, you know, once I remembered the steps, just to open the book and go
Yeah.
back to refresh, and,
Thank
and
you.
that's absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Thank
کتاب ایشون یه بخشی از کتاب سامرایز میکنه، خلاصه میکنه و مثل چیت چیت به شما یک بولت پوینتس هایی رو میده که دیگه اگر مموریتون، حافظتون مثل من بد شده, you know, the memory, that's another topic. So it's always nice when you have a summary and, you know, cheat sheet to really go to, and examples that it makes it more practical. But because like you say, I think many of us are living idealistic lives, but
Right.
it's much healthier, it's much more peaceful when we are lowering those expectations internally and externally, and to really allow for some messy journey to find its
Yes.
purpose
Yeah.
and peace and joy.
Yeah.
Which you're living proof of, you know, you're like that.
Well, I mean, I think that's where I want to stress, and hopefully, I think the feedback I get most on the book is that people feel a sense of relief.
It is,
because
it is,
they
yeah.
are like, okay, my journey is messy too,
Right.
and a big part of for me, the book was really thinking about, what does balance mean for me?
Right.
What does happiness and joy mean for me? And this was a funny story because I kind of had that moment where I was on stage and I thought, oh my God, my life is a mess. But I didn't know what to do. I was just overwhelmed. And I happened to be going home that weekend to visit my parents. And so when we went to San Diego, where my parents are, my mom was cooking and my kids were watching a TV show and my dad was on the computer on Twitter. And so I went to my father. Now in my family, we all go to my mother for help. We don't go to my father. The rest of the world may go to my father, but we don't. But I decided, you know what, let me talk to my father because this is his realm.
Sure.
And so I went and
living
I said,
with the expert,
yes,
right?
so I said, Papa, I want to talk to you. And he was busy, distracted. And I said, I feel like I'm overwhelmed and I'm stressed and I'm maybe unhappy. And I saw my dad, like he stopped and he kind of looked at me in complete panic, and like is looking for my mom to come and address the situation. And I said, no. Yeah. And then I said, no, it's not that there's anything major going on, but like I'm feeling out of balance.
This internal imbalance.
And so that really actually was the first step in this journey, where then my father sat with me. He shared the work of Dr. Dan Siegel, who I went on to interview for the book, and really looked at, from a scientific perspective, what are the different things that create a healthy brain. A healthy mind-body platter is what Dr. Siegel calls it. And so in the book, there's a balance wheel that I created with my father.
Wheel,
That's fantastic.
Which really said, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed, but where do I begin?
Right,
And it began with, in that balance wheel, looking at sleep, diet.
It addresses
food.
all of the most important.
But then career, relationships. Am I getting intellectual stimulation?
Right.
Do I have fun anymore?
So
Do
that's
I
a big
laugh?
thing for moms, right?
Yes.
Is that intellectual stimulation for the moms that are home.
Yes.
And they often feel like they're shortchanged there,
That's a big one,
especially
right?
if they've given up their careers, especially.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the fun, which there's
I
no
realized
time for
I
fun.
didn't laugh anymore.
There's no
I didn't
time
have
for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about that this
Then we
morning.
did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Yeah.
And then just having some sort of spiritual connection, which you had
Yes.
talked about. So, one, the balance wheel was a very practical thing that helped me identify, okay, I'm lacking in these spaces. And then some of the other exercises in the book were, coming up with just a mind map of what makes me happy. Like I had
Right.
forgotten what makes me happy. So, for example, I love reading novels and poetry, and I love to travel and food, and it was things like that which I wasn't even doing anymore.
Right,
so
right.
Simple things. I started a book club with my friends, which was
That's
the
great,
easiest,
yeah.
simplest thing, but
Yeah.
it has brought so much joy into my
Nurtures
life.
your soul.
and
Yeah, this is
nurtures
the
my
nurture.
soul.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Yes.
And taking action.
Yeah.
So Mallika,
Very
do you do
important.
this with your children? All these great exercises
Yes,
that your
yeah.
father inspired, within you, and you noticed the difference.
Yes, I am a big believer. So yes, I do, and both my children learned how to meditate from my father when they were about
So that's
5
the
years
next
old.
book, that, right?
Yes, I know. But I do believe that we teach by example,
Yes,
not
so
just
true.
by words. So for me, I'm trying to be a good example to my two daughters, both as a mother and as a woman and as an entrepreneur, and just
Right.
as
So many
a
hats.
citizen of
The world. Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And so for me, that really is what living with intent is about. It's about living a life of purpose, peace, and joy. And
Yeah.
if I can live that life that my daughters see and respect and know that that's possible,
You create that climate.
then hopefully
yes, of
I'm
course.
being a good
role model. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
And talk about peace is so close to your heart.
Peace and
Right?
peace learning is you talk about the family songs, and every
Yes.
family has a unique family song, and I adore your family song. And my family song has been about peace and peace learning, and growing up in the Middle East and traveling and witnessing all the pain and suffering of the people. And so I think it's really important when people like yourself are able to integrate pieces like intent my 5 C's are compassion, nonviolent communication, the 5 C's I call them, and cooperation, the art and culture of it, and how do we plant those seeds intentionally so that we are raising the frequency and enhancing the oneness and in families, in our communities, and around the world.
Yeah.
And so, can you think of a childhood memory? You speak about your early memories, and one particular one that relates to a peace learning parenting moment or experience.
Yeah, I do think that this shift that my dad would have us express what we want, really kind of was a huge shift in our family life. And that theme of intention keeps coming up. So the phrase he would have us say was, I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience and set the goals I will achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. And then he'd ask us, what do you ask for? But I think what that did is it also kind of gave us a sense of responsibility of kind of how we could serve in the world. It was kind of subtle. It was over time that we kind of did that. And you talk about, your song. And I think both my brother and I have kind of struggled often in terms of like kind of having our own identity versus, the expectations that come because of our father.
Of course.
And honestly, I think it's with age and with maturity and with the acceptance of the incredible gift that it is to have been born in this family and to be able to serve in our own unique way, that's actually come with time. I often say, like, actually my journey of self-exploration, I grew up in that world, but I really didn't care about it until I became a mother, because for me then suddenly it became so relevant and so urgent.
Yes, how beautiful.
So becoming a parent was that big shift for you.
Yeah.
Let me translate that. That's so important. So کارای مهم خانم ملیکا چوپرا که به اصطلاح نویسنده کتاب Living with Intent هستن و intent.com اگر علاقه دارین. What's the app name?
Also if you go to intent.com.
Okay. So intent.com همه این information و مطالب رو براتون داره. حتما برین استفاده بکنین. در جرنی و مسیر و سفر ایشون در این راه به اینکه چگونه با نیت و با آرامش دل بیشتری این مسیر رو طی بکنن در راه پیس لرنینگ پرنتینگ و شناخت بیشتر از صلح‌جویی و صلح‌خویی، اون لحظه‌ای برایشون به قول معروف چراغی روشن شد که مادر شدن و بچه دار شدن. و من خیلی از اوقات این رو مثال میزنم که اون لحظه‌ای که شما بچه‌تون رو در آغوشتون میذارن، اون لحظه‌ای هستش که یونیورس به قول معروف به شما کامپشن و شفقت رو در بالاترین درجهش میاره برای شما، right؟ تو دلتون حس میکنین و تک تک شما مادران و پدران که این تجربه رو کردین میدونین که چی میگم. اون لحظه ای هستش که در باند و جفتجوی دو روح، دو روان، two beings, two human beings، شما شفقت، بقا و آنچه که اصل موضوع زندگی هستش برای شما مطرح میشه در ذهنتون. در اون لحظه ایشون فهمیدن که شفتی که باید انجام بدن که در سوی conscious parenting یا mindfulness یا peace learning parenting، هر چی که اسمشو میخواین شما بذارین، این براشون intentional و واقعی و مهم و پرارزش بود به وجود آمد. بنابراین این از اون لحظاتی هستش که MomTalk, moms getting together, really we have a shared narrative in that way. As parents, I think dads have a same experience. Like the fathering is such an important. I mean, look at you, your relationship with your dad, and how we're all impacted by the relationships we have with our parents, and that moves us towards peace learning and bringing more peace and achieving world peace.
Well, I have to say, it's so nice to be sitting here and hearing you translate, because one, I think our cultures are very hard based cultures, we share so
Very
many
similar.
similarities,
Very similar, yeah.
and our family, the Persians have always been our closest friends.
Yes,
and
of course.
because
You
I
can
think
relate to each other.
Well, I think it's similar cultures
Yes,
in many
yes,
ways.
yes.
So what I love in hearing when you're translating is not knowing exactly what you're saying, but knowing that the sentiment
Yeah.
that we all are speaking is coming from that same place. And I love the work that both of you are doing
Thank
to
you.
bring peace, into a suffering world,
Yes.
a world where we as parents, really feel that urgency for our children.
Especially now with
and
all the
especially
global
now,
chaos.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I feel that if we as parents are not feeling the urgency of that, then we're in trouble. So I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really just admire
Yes.
and appreciate
Oh,
everything
thank
you
you,
both are
thank you.
doing.
And likewise.
Thank you,
And I
likewise.
always say that in serving our children, we serve the world.
Mm-hmm.
We serve a future that we might never see. It's through these children that we have this opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank
yes.
you. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you
and
for being here.
Michelle Obama's speech yesterday,
Yes, was
wasn't it so
fabulous, yeah.
inspiring?
So inspiring.
And
Yes.
so spot on, right? It
Yes.
was really, when it comes to bringing more peace to the world and leadership, I think families and
Yeah.
children and
It's truly
parents
the
are at the
message
core
that we
of it,
need.
right?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end, in nurturing Mallika and honoring her life, and just being so grateful for her soul and being born. We know you had a birthday a
Thank
couple
you.
days
Yes.
ago.
Happy
And
birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday!
you.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
So we would like to light a candle, and this
Thank you.
candle will be for Mallika as well as world peace. So if you'd like to take a moment to meditate with it and to
Yes, oh
take
my God,
it in.
thank you. I'm 45 years old, and I feel like it's
Never
a
too
good,
old
I
for a
know,
birthday cake,
But
alright?
it actually feels like a good place to be right now.
Yeah, wonderful.
And so I'm excited, and yes, I would love to ask everyone to set an intent.
Yes.
Yes.
And whether it's a personal intent or something for your family or just for the world. So maybe we can do that together.
Let's do that together.
And
Yeah.
hopefully, Mallika, this is also going to touch your chocoholic shop.
Yes, it definitely
Sweetaholic.
does. Look at this, it's beautiful. So
But it's also the sweetness. We
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about this, the sweetness of it all, right? The sweetness, the beauty of flowers,
Yes.
nature, and let's move this
yes,
a
you
little
can see
bit
such a
so we
beautiful.
can see it.
Yeah,
Can we see it?
yeah. Maybe
Move this a
that.
little bit.
It says "Happy Birthday,
There you
Mallika,"
go.
and there's
Okay,
strawberries
good.
and berries.
So we got
Okay,
happy
so-
birthday and
Yeah,
sweetness
yeah.
and light and your being, which
Thank
we
you,
honor
and-
and celebrate.
And love.
And
Yeah,
love.
yes,
and love.
yes, yes.
And
So-
Roma, love you.
Thank you. I love you
Love
too.
you. It's
Thank
an
you.
honor to be in your
Thank you.
presence.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, setting
right.
an intent.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again, Nelly. This has
Thank
been
you.
fun. And
Thank you.
thank you, Mallika.
It's honestly, it's such an honor, and just the idea that this is going so many places,
Right,
and
right.
I love it.
And we are going to have Mallika Chopra at a Warrior Mom special event, which I'm hosting, and Liz Svadik and Lisa Condren, the co-founders of Warrior Moms. So please, please, please come and check out the events.
October 14th.
October 14th. You can go to the website, get your tickets. There'll be a book signing opportunity, so you can come and meet Mallika Chopra and be enlightened by her wisdom, compassion, and peace.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Until next time. God
Thank
bless.
you.